Welcome to a special edition of The Signal. I'm Lucia Helder.
And I'm Olivia Malley, and we're in third year broadcasting class here at King's.
Today's stories are the result of what our class has learned over the course of this semester. It's our first video stories and our first live streams. Thanks to the King's Co-op bookstore for having us.
Our very first piece is about a young man in a very old craft. Luke Peters is a glassblower, making fine crystal at Nova Scotian Crystal in Halifax.
He's their youngest craftsman, part of a new generation in more ways than one. Carla Rennick spent some time hanging out in the workshop.
My starting with the company is my introduction to crystal. You can imagine 20 years old, not really paying attention to the world of crystal very much. You know, it's a very high-end product. My name's Luke Peters. I'm 26. I've been working at Nova Scotian Crystal for almost 6 years now. When I started, there may have been 6 or 7 Irishmen, and then you hear the stories of when it was all Irishmen, and there's definitely a sense of camaraderie has kind of changed over the years. You know, I feel like they had something really special.
It's really beautiful. It's also very special to me because it's from Nova Scotia. My favorite, I think, is my first one. This is the one from 2003. And I really like the little snowflake design on it. Mm-hmm.
You're just getting burnt and you're sweating and the glass isn't cooperating and it's just like, this isn't working. Why am I doing this to myself? Do I really hate myself this much? But then there's days where it's like, you know what? This is actually really cool.
This is an example of what all the hard work goes to. As you can see, it doesn't quite look like a normal wine glass, and it doesn't sound like one either.
Most of us care at least as much about what's in our glass as about the glass itself. And you'd be amazed to know how much science goes into making wine.
A researcher at St. Mary's University is working with yeast to find the unique flavors in natural organic wine. As Kate Wood discovered, it's a lot of work.
Hi, I'm Brandon Logan. I'm a master's student in the SIT research group at St. Mary's University. With yeast strains growing, that looks very messy indeed. My process is that I've gone into the vineyards, I've swabbed plants on various parts of the plants. To isolate them, I'm basically taking them off of a plate of mixed things and I'm trying to get only one, putting it onto a new petri dish. And I'll keep on doing that until on that petri dish there's only one type of bacteria growing.
So the difference would be that this one here is actually isolated, it's one type of fungus, whereas this one over here is definitely 2 different kinds. You can tell from the colors. So this one has a light pink color to it.
So this research is for Lackady Vineyards. They've been making a new wine for the last couple of years, and they're interested in understanding what compounds are being made, or specifically if they can tie certain compounds or certain chemicals to a specific yeast strain or bacterial strain.
I would say that even the subset of natural wine is becoming even more popular as well. So I think people are looking for as little intervention in their wine as possible, but only a certain demographic are looking for that.
Halifax is also well known for our craft breweries, but brewing is often a man's world. One brewer is looking to change that. I went to see what she's up to.
The craft industry here specifically, and the people I've been lucky enough to associate with, have welcomed women. Not like, hey, women, come do this, but as a woman, when you show up, they don't treat you differently. I'm Kelly Costello. I am one of the brewers here at Good Robot. I host a Femme Brew competition. So I have a homebrew competition only for women and, you know, women identifying folk. And I think that's the only one in the Maritimes, which is cool, but I wish it wasn't, you know. So now we've expanded and we're inviting not just those women who are already brewing, but breweries are invited to work with women that either our staff or the owners or social media folk. We've invited them to bring them into the brew house and bring that beer to the Brewster Fest.
Basically, when I came on the scene, she lent a hand to me and I lent a hand to her, like going to university and doing all the biology and stuff. She wanted to know some stuff that are a little bit more scientific.
I thought I had yeast figured out when I started, and Gio's a microbiologist. He knows a shit ton about yeast, and so I was asking him about it, and he was just like, oh yeah, and then there's like these other thousands of kinds of yeast, and I was just like, oh God. Back to the drawing board.
We kind of work as a really good team.
Brewing is super fun as a hobby and as a job. We can't all do it as a job, but I really recommend trying it as a hobby.
You're watching The Signal from the University of King's College.
Christians around the world are currently observing Lent. Lent's a 40-day period leading up to Easter. It's a time of fasting, praying, and charity, allowing Christians to focus on their interior lives.
Madeline Bizot talked with two people who mark the season in their own ways.
I'm Father Paul Morris. I'm the pastor here at St. Agnes Catholic Church. I don't go out to restaurants during Lent, and the money that I might save, I give to a charity. Over my 19 years of being a priest, I have seen people's participation in Lent increase, definitely. I think people have a need sometimes to ritualize their lives, and we do this in both religious and non-religious ways. But more and more, I think people are embracing something that they feel is worthwhile. So where we might have 20, 30 people for a regular weekday Mass, during Lent, well, on Fridays you might have 80. But we should also, I think, remember that alms could be of ourselves. Our time is sometimes more valuable than our money.
I've decided to take on a practice rather than focusing on what I'm giving up. This year it's very much about like my internal reality. It's about facing down feelings of failure and disappointment and attacking those head on. When I'm all stretched out and my mind is quiet and those feelings and those thoughts that are painful and sad and funny and random that I've spent all of my energy trying to repress come out. Spending that time being honest with God and with myself, that's really the heart of the practice.
This is also the time of year for new beginnings. Around here, it's getting close to graduation season, and for one varsity basketball player, it really is the end of an era.
Nick Frew had dreams of playing professional basketball, but an injury in high school changed that. And then he found his plan B here at King's. He told me about how it came together.
I had a knee injury where the piece of cartilage about the size of a nickel popped off my left knee and was just floating around. It's a genetic disorder. That's when we found that out. So in my first year of university here, in the first week of November, I went home to get a preventative surgery for my other knee, and that's what I've been battling pretty much the rest of my career. I just wasn't done yet. I always wanted to play college basketball.
Nick was so determined and has a love of the game and a love, I think, of being a part of a sports team that he wasn't going to let anything keep him from playing a sport that he loved.
Basically, I just did whatever I could to show what my potential could be despite my physical limitations. And eventually I earned the nickname Moneyball because I just didn't miss.
It's a whole new spin on the boy band, girl group thing. K-pop, short for Korean pop, is everywhere lately.
The videos feature intricate choreography, and a dance class in Halifax is ready to help you move along with them. Chris Sidley checked it out.
Everyone in the music videos and in the Korean groups, they're just so charming, and I want to be part of that too. When you're dancing K-pop, you kind of imagine you're the star. That's what I do, and I encourage everyone to do that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3.
I think K-pop is a way to kind of like build your confidence in dancing. You don't need to be master in dance skills, but you can feel like, you know, who you are and just, you know, be more confident.
I spent a year in Korea, and that was my introduction to K-pop. So I was really excited to see House of 8's opening up K-pop dance here.
I'm planning to teach more class when I back to school next year. So I'll be kind of like adding probably 2 classes here, and then I'll be putting more time and just to, you know, like demonstrating the class and something.
So that's it for us, for now anyway. There's more projects to come, and our classmates will be along shortly with more stories.
While you're waiting, check out the Signal website at signalhfx.ca. I'm Lucia Helder.
And I'm Olivia Malley.
Thanks for watching.
And we're done.
All right.